Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mowers will practically build themselves.
Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Murph. Welcome to today's show. So you saw in the intro there, this particular tunnel. This was on that train layout from Christmas a couple of years ago. I have done away with that layout. However, I've tried to sell this thing and I can't sell it. So it's just been sitting around. Well, here's some pictures I took when I was trying to get it sold. You can see the white top on it, and it's a two tunnel portal, if you will. Anyway, here's the four different sides, and it's important because we're going to look at these here again in just a minute. So we're going to repurpose this. I've got this idea. I'm making a Halloween layout, and I thought I'm going to turn this into Skull Mountain. That would be really, really cool. Let me see if I can do that. So, here is the side we're going to look at first. This area, the dark area, kind of at the bottom there, where there's icicles hanging down. Okay, I'm going to pull all of that off. I'm going to paint the top in this kind of an earth color that I have, and here you go. Here's what it looks like. And you see with the icicles gone, there's this nice flat spot right there. This area overlooks the middle of the layout. So I thought, this is the perfect place. This is where I'm going to do it. So I run to the craft store and I find myself a styrofoam skull. Actually, a couple of different sizes to see which one I'm really going to use on this. And, well, I start doing some cutting and poof, I put it right there. Now, this portal here, I've decided it's going to be more of a walkway, because I've only got one single track that's going to go around this particular layout. So I'm going to convert this into more of a walking path, if you will. Let's say that it's an old train tunnel, but anyway, it's now a walking path. So I'm going to take some of this plaster of Paris and this material that I use quite often. It's ground up newspaper. It's attic insulation by a company called U.S. Green Fiber, but you could use celluclay, you could use whatever paper mache, whatever it is you want to use, but this is what I use. So I put some plaster of Paris in with this, I mix it up, and I'm going to start slathering this on, and poof, look at that. That quick. It actually still looks like a skull, but yet it's got the texture more like the mountain. And then I'm going to start filling in some of that area around the tunnel porthole so that it's got that new look, that new texture to it. Okay, so let's look at this other area. Now, this is the back side. This actually faces out away from the train layout. And this was the back side, and you can see where I've got some kind of an area there. And I've taken off the icicles and I've painted. This is the exact same area. But I thought, I'm going to use another skull somehow or other, and I'm going to put it over here. But I didn't want to use another big skull, and it wouldn't fit there. So I have a smaller one. And poof, there you go. I cut this one. This one actually had a jaw to it as well. So I cut this one and put it right in there. And look at that. After I've slathered it, after I've painted it, you can barely tell it's there, but you can see there is a skull there, definitely. So styrofoam to styrofoam, that worked out really, really well. Okay, so the whole thing is painted in kind of this earth tone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this craft white, and I'm going to mix it with some of the craft black. This is all I'm going to use for the rest of these steps. Now I'm going to take some of that and I'm going to wet it down a bit and I'm going to paint over this area. and give this area kind of that gray look. Just wanted it to be a little bit different, wanted it to stand out a little bit more, and you'll see the results a little bit later. So I also took some of this gray and I highlighted some of the other areas around, some of the other areas on the mountain, because I felt I just had way too much of this brownish, tannish everywhere. And it looked good for what I had before, but for this, I definitely want some more gray. So I've dry brushed all of those areas. You can see the areas that are flat that we used to have some trees. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start watering that gray down and adding more black to it, and I'm going to start giving washes to the entire mountain so that it gets down in the cracks and the crevices, and you can see how subtle the effect is, but yet it really makes those cracks and crevices pop. And then the final thing that I did is I took a little bit of this tan color and added some white to it and just did some highlights over the whole thing. Now, the skull looks pretty good, doesn't it? It's got that gray to it, but yet it still blends in with all of the rest of the backdrop. This took, probably about 24 hours to dry once I had that mix all done. And you can see here, I took some of my, I call it Utah dirt, here in this dispenser, and I sprinkled that all over it, and everything just kind of blended in really nice. You can see our skull face off to the right hand side here. And I'm going to work my way around the mountain with that wash and with the gray and with the highlight, trying to get everything to blend just a little bit better. Here you can see the portal going in, and I've had to add some area here. This is the walking portal, if you will. The other side where the trains will go around, you can see how it's much, much taller. And that's the stock hide. I didn't do anything to it. Now we're going to add a little bit of green, and I've taken these rocks. These are luminescent rocks, and I've placed them strategically all over, just in little places here and there, like the eyes and the nose for the skull, and a few other places. And you'll notice, right dead center in the middle above the skull, I've also put a camper. I got a guy up there camping. Can you believe that? A tent with a guy camping on the mountain. Thought that'd be kind of fun. Added a little bit of this greenery though, here and there around the mountain, and just kind of stuffed it in. Not going to put any trees at this time, but for right now, just a little bit of greenery. Nothing overpowering, because I want it to be kind of a desolate looking place. All right, so now I think I'm to the point where I'm going to put this on the layout, but I want to kind of position it and see where it's going to go. So I get my table, and trust me, I'm going to put something else here besides the table. There'll be some styrofoam. But for now, I'm just going to kind of place it and see how it looks, see if the fit works okay. You can see that lava piece that we did a week ago. Well, I just kind of have it sitting there. Not sure where I'm going to arrange this, but anyway, folks, we'll follow up here in a few weeks with the whole finished product of this layout. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this.